All right, it's Hot 97, TT Torrez, and you are hanging out inside another episode of Artist Quarantine. Our special guest today is Mooski. Hey, how
Yo,
are
how you doing?
you?
I
You look
can't
like
complain.
you're in a really cool space.
Oh yeah. We in a dope studio.
Yeah, I know. It looks like it. Who's that in the background? Like, is that Twista or Nas? Oh, that looks like Nas and Missy Super Duper Fly. Yeah, that
The
is
Nas,
Nas.
yeah, you got Nas,
Outkast,
Outkast,
Bob Marley.
the GOAT, Michael Jackson, Bob
Wow.
Marley,
Wow.
legend.
What you drinking on? Some hot tea to get the vocals right?
Yeah. You know, I got a little hot tea going.
Yeah. So you're from Alabama,
Hmm.
and I love the fact that Alabama is starting to get a good look on them with
Yeah,
you, Young Blue, and a lot of different artists coming out of Alabama. It's not easy. People don't go to Alabama looking for artists, but you guys
yeah,
have managed to create your own lane, and I love that.
yeah. I think the last couple years have been like very good for Bama. You know, I think everything is aligning for Alabama to come up. Um, Especially there's a lot of artists in my city that we're excited to bring out. Um, so it's just like it's just a blessing. It's just a blessing seeing Alabama on the rise like this.
Yeah, you know what I spent a lot of time in the South, South Carolina. My family is
Okay.
originally from there. So I know about the soulfulness of the South,
Mhm.
and Black churches are really the place that is grounding and developing these soulful artists coming out. You go in, you in church Sunday all day, you in Wednesday night Bible study, you in revival, you in choir rehearsal. So you're developing that soulfulness since you were like in the incubator stages of a kid.
Right. Yeah, like our church schedule was crazy. We'll go to church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, sometimes Thursday, sometimes Friday, sometimes Saturday. And then we would go back Sunday. Like one time we had like a route for like a whole month. Like that really like took
Yeah,
away from um I couldn't do a lot of stuff. And
I
it was
know
crazy.
that feeling. I grew up in a Pentecostal church,
Same.
so I already know what it
Yeah.
is. Like we would be in church 24/7. I always said this. My mother couldn't afford anything other than church clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't have the basic necessities, but we had some good church clothes.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. At the time I used to hate dressing up too. Like my mom used to always try to make me wear like ties and stuff. I used to want to go to church in like blue jeans and stuff, like shorts and stuff. I didn't want
No, they don't play that. You gotta wear the bows. I know my mother used to put bows and the little flowery socks and like
to.
white church shoes.
Yeah, you going out like that?
Yes, I'm telling you, I used to be in church 24/7. Unfortunately for me, I didn't develop the voice, the soulful voice, although I sung in the choir. I got an ear for music, but I can't actually sing like you.
Word. I mean that's about equal though.
You gotta have a good ear.
Yeah, having an ear for it is almost equal. That mean you can sing if you wanted to.
Yeah, I can hum a little something, something, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
okay,
can't.
okay.
I'm
You
not
can
as
hold like
melodic as you.
you say what?
I'm not as melodic as you.
I bet if you try, you can probably get it now.
Yeah, if you produce me right, I probably can do something, something. But one thing I love about your music though is that it's very vulnerable. The lyrics are very real. When you are working on your craft, is that something you try to perfect when you're in the studio?
Yeah, for sure. I try to when I'm writing, I try to really think about how that first feeling you get, that first thought that pops in your head when something happens. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to write my music and people be like, okay, he got in here. He got in here so good that I feel like he knows my situation. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I
Yeah.
think that's how the best music is created. You know, when you can listen and really relate to every single thing inside a song. Like, it makes it so personal that people just fall in love with the record and they stay with it forever.
Well, I can honestly say when I listen to the lyrics, and I think that's why it does so well for us here at Hot 97 on the radio, is because it does hit you like that. And you wrote from a very vulnerable space. And I love the fact that it almost feels like the person broke your heart versus you breaking that person's heart.
Mm.
You know, was that something that, am I correct? Is that something you was going for? Was you really just talking about that relationship?
Yeah, I was just saying, you know, I was just saying, excuse me. I was just saying, you know, in this certain song right here, the track star, you know, is just someone who just wasn't ready, who wasn't as ready as the other person. You get what I'm saying? You know,
And a lot of us have been through that, right?
yeah, I feel like the song is so relatable because everyone has been through that. So when I was making the song, I wanted to make sure that I kept it so real that both the male and female could relate to it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether she's the track star or she's talking to a fella that's a track star, or whether the fella talking to her. You get what I'm saying? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because how many times you've been in relationships and that person wanted to take it to the next level, but you wasn't ready. So you sabotaged the relationship in any type of way just because either A, you're not worthy, or B, you don't think that you are worthy to be loved. And there are a lot of women, and I know I used to do this. I was very much the person that would run like, nah, I'm good. I don't want you getting close to me, because I didn't know my own worth or my own value. So I would sabotage something before it got good. Or when it was good, I would fuck it up just because, you know, I was fucked up, you know, in the head. I was just didn't deal with a lot of trauma, I should say.
Right. Yeah, I think everybody goes through that stage. You know, I think that's just part of life. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I like about music. Like you could just put experience in a song, and at some point somebody's gonna run into that song, and it's gonna remind them of an experience in their life. You get what I'm saying? Like that song, I feel like that song is gonna be around for a long time just because life goes on and people go through experiences every day. And that's an experience I think everybody's gonna go through at some point.
Yeah, and it also opens up the dialogue about mental health and us having these conversations in the Black community about mental health and these issues that normally we don't speak about. Like we either pretend it doesn't happen, or we sweep it under the rug, you know, or I don't know about you, but a lot of times in my family, if you don't talk about it, it's almost as if it didn't exist.
For sure. You know, I had a lot of problems like that. Especially like, so those problems like with my like immediate family, like the things that were going on back home, like I just try to act like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because it was just I just felt like I was like, man, I couldn't even be at home for real.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't. I don't like that feeling. Like it's just so much. It's just so much that I needed to do, and so much I wanted to do. Like I don't want to be stuck around sad. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be sad, and it's so much to do outside because, like I said, we was in church, like from when I was like 1 day old all the way till I was like probably 14, 15. You know what I mean? So after this, it's like I'm on the go. Like I'm trying to do things. I never got to do anything but go to church.
Yeah, because you are so sheltered. You're so sheltered in that life. And not to mention you think because you know you're in church so much that that is the issue solves themselves. You know what I mean? Pray about it, it'll solve itself. And
I'm glad you said that.
And
go
it's
ahead. I didn't mean
not no. And it's not, if you don't put the work in to really deal with the trauma, it will never solve itself.
Right. See, people gotta understand, even on the prayer tip, you know, faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we have to meet God somewhere in everything. You know what I'm saying? So like that's one thing I've always said. I like you said, like growing up like that, you definitely sheltered from like real life. So that's like in my last interview, he asked me how was the transition from making gospel music at first to making this music. I told him, I felt like I could be more real and more transparent with this music because it's like you're protecting something right here when you're making this gospel music. One, your image, you know what I'm saying? It's just like making sure like
I know exactly how you feel, not to cut you off, because growing up until I was about till I discovered Biggie or Mary J. Blige on a DJ Clue Mamadi album is when I
Mm,
first discovered hip hop. Up until then, I only listened to gospel music. Like I
right,
didn't know rap music. Like that wasn't something that was like my mother played like Quincy Jones, Put On Your Red Dress and all of those songs and Stacey Lattimore and I mean just she played those records
right,
and I was around that stuff, but in my mental I was so my mom had us so embedded in a church that we all we knew really was church music. And when I
right,
discovered hip hop, I was like, "Oh my god, like what is this?" And it was so raw, real, raunchy, and like it really unpacked like stuff that I really could relate to versus on the gospel side. Now I do have my yin and my yang. Now I could go from listening to Pooh Shiesty to Joe Osteen, you know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
But to your
that's how it
point,
is. Though.
yeah, but to your point, when you discover how hip hop is and how unique it is and how you could just be your authentic self when you create that type of music with no judgment, I should say.
Right. You know, I just want to. So I still keep the spiritual feeling in my music. Like I haven't veered away from my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? I have not veered away from my belief. I still have my faith in God. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I've been able to experience real life, so I know how to put real life and faith together. You get what I'm saying? And so
Absolutely.
that's something I wasn't able to do when I was in that shelter. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's like when I hopped in real life, it's like, dang, like okay, this is real. Like nobody really showed me this. You know what I'm
And
saying? Like
nobody showed you the other side of it.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
really just had no like life experience. Like you have no life experience like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And some people can't survive in that.
Yeah,
They really turn to other alternatives because they have been so jaded in life that they can't survive in like a real world. It's really traumatizing for them. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Now you decided, one thing that I saw in the interview you did, you said your sister went to college. She went to a really good 4-year college. So you needed to do something with your life. Like you
right.
felt like I have to do something. So you joined the Marines.
Hmm.
And you spoke about the leadership that in the Marines that attracted you, and just how much pride that they had. And I find that part of the interview to be so admiring because it takes a lot of discipline for someone to join such an organization like that. You know what I mean? And I always say in this industry, one thing you have to have is patience and discipline.
Right. Yeah. You know, like the Marine Corps, and even like just going to the Marine Corps, like I gained so much. Like I'm so thankful for the Marine Corps. Like I can't even tell you how much I'm thankful for the Marine Corps because it just showed me so much about myself. Like it taught me so much about myself. Like I had like when I was getting ready to leave the Marine Corps, I had such a great understanding of life and a new perspective that no matter what happened, I could flip it into positive gain. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the whole the whole thing about the Marine Corps. You know what I mean? Like at first, I struggled, um, not in the Marine Corps. I never struggled with the Marine Corps. I just struggled with life, dealing with life and the Marine Corps, because I was still acting like nothing was happening. You get what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I'm out here in the Marine Corps. I'm not getting sleep. We out here working. We going hard, and I'm going hard at the Marine Corps now because I really love it. And at the time, I'm trying to do 20 years, so I'm really trying to set the example for all my Marines. And I'm going hard. I'm going to work like nothing
And you
like
made it
was
all the
happening.
way to sergeant status.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's discipline.
but I was still running away from my reality,
Your
which is
problems
like
at home that was still
exactly.
there that you never dealt with.
Exactly. I was still running from that. I'm still acting like everything okay. You know what I'm saying? And it just wasn't. So like I said, like that's what really brought me to music, and showed me that music was for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, and I wasn't. It's just so crazy because I think people get like depression and mental illness like confused. I think they think you gotta like spaz out and like go crazy every day to think you have mental
To
health problems.
yeah, to so depression comes in all types of forms. You
Yeah,
know
like
what I'm saying? Like you can be the most happy. I remember when I was going through depression at one point in my life, and I wrote about this in my book. I would go into the radio station, and I was like the it girl. You know, I was doing afternoon drive in Richmond in the DMV area, and I had the highest ratings on the show. I was the it girl on the billboards, on everything, but I was so depressed. But I would cover it up with success. So I would work so hard to not deal with my real life issues. And my need to succeed really came from the underlying issues I had with dealing with depression and trauma, and realize, okay, I'm never going to be dumb. So let me just work hard, hard, hard. So I never got to live in a moment. So every accolade that I got, I never celebrated it, you know.
That's crazy.
Because I didn't think I was worthy enough.
If I ever heard somebody spit my life back to me, that was it right there. This is a great interview, by the way. But like, that's exactly how I am. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's like in a sense, it motivated me, but at the same time, it was just like, it was good for me and bad for me at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, I didn't realize how bad it was for me until I went through therapy. And I really had an understanding of why I drive myself the way that I drive myself. And everything has to be picture perfect in my life. Like, if I did that, no, I got to go do that. Oh, I accomplished that, I got to go do that. You know, and it's just this never ending cycle of just need to succeed. Like, you're not good enough. So
you don't get to be happy.
You don't get to be happy. And I think for me, it really drove, because, you know, I didn't have my mom, I didn't have my dad. So I felt like the world threw me, like I was thrown out like a trash. So I had to prove to the world, oh, I'm worthy. So I would just work and accomplish all of these goals, but never really dealing with the trauma that I suffered as a child.
Word.
So
you may just put me on game or something. Because like I'm like that now. Like, I just got the interview saying that, you know, I don't celebrate anything that my accomplishment in the music, because it's just like, so I'm so used to everything going left that when something good happened, I just gotta keep working. Because I like, it's like when I was getting ready to sign a deal, I didn't tell nobody. I didn't even want to speak on it because I didn't want to ruin my blessing. Like, you know, I didn't want to speak it in the air because I didn't want to bring all that negative energy to fight against me on this deal. You get what I'm saying? I didn't, and you know, I really didn't celebrate it really, but I mean, I did a little bit, but I really don't celebrate even my accomplishment now, because it's just like, I'm so used to things going left. I'm just scared. Like, sometimes I get scared of success when I'm successful. It's just like, I just got to keep going. Like, I got to.
And that's a real thing. But and you know what that is that you telling yourself, this moment is not good enough. I'm not good enough for this moment. No, I'm not worthy of this moment. And the only way I got out of that is by taking it slow, and to have small celebrations, but understand the bigger picture. And so, you know, if I could give you advice, I would say, you know, if it's just a small dinner with you and your intimate friends, just celebrating that one accomplishment. If it's just you going out and treating yourself to a me day, just to celebrate that small accomplishment. And I'm not a big clique person. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't care to be in people's cliques. I'm just never that type of person. So I would never have like a big, all that type of thing. But I am appreciating those accomplishments, and I'm learning how to celebrate them. I'm learning how to say, yeah, girl, you did do that. You know, yeah, that is worth celebrating.
Dang, you know, that's crazy. Hold on, let me write this down in my notes, because I gotta put this in a song. You know how like, you know, like how broken you gotta be as a person, like, to teach yourself to celebrate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was pretty broken. But I can honestly say I was pretty broken. So, you know, I mean, I'm just for the audience watching, I wrote a book, and it took me about 11 years to really get myself to write it and complete it. But when I go back and I read the final manuscript, I really can see how broken I was. And I was a writer in a journal. So I wrote and I penned a lot of stuff. And I thought I was going to be a songwriter for real. Because I would pen songs. And then I had my son, and then I pivoted to radio. But I really thought I was going to be a songwriter. But a lot of my stuff and trauma, I can pen it really well. And so I would go back and read old journals that I wrote, and I would be like, damn, this girl was really broken. And I was. But it's really knowing that, because you can be broken and you can stay there for so long
For
and
sure.
not realize you're broken.
Not even know it. Not even know it. You just over time you just become more and more numb. But see, when I was going through everything I was going through, I just didn't know. Like, see me, I'm a real outgoing person. I like being around people and I like having fun like every day. I'm one of those people you gotta tell me like, bro, chill out, bro. Like, why you know what I'm saying? But it's just all because of everything that happened before. But I just
Yeah.
started to slow down. Like I never wanted to go out no more. I never wanted to go eat with my friends no more. You know what I'm saying? I just go to the room every day and just sit in there. You know what I mean? Probably drink that night, go to sleep,
Yeah.
wake up and do the same thing all over again. But
But
like
yeah.
that's when I started to realize though, like I never actually went to therapy, but when they did give those classes, like they give us classes as a whole in the Marine Corps about like depression and everything like that. I used to just sit there and read the like all the slides and stuff. Read all the slides and really try to think about it, you know. And when they're talking, I'm like, dang, that's me. But I didn't
Yeah.
want to go. I didn't want to go talk to them. So I'm still trying to figure out how to do it myself. But I'm like, dang, I may be depressed. And I said that for like 3 different classes.
Mhm.
It took me 3 different classes to actually realize, okay, man, I'm depressed for real. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then the more I start, that's when I started talking about everything that was going on. Even with my closest friends, just talking, whole time they going through stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So we just talking and venting and stuff. You know what I mean? And then found the music and started venting through that. That really opened up the door for people to talk to me.
Yeah.
Um,
And the music is going to give you so much therapy and writing and getting it
yeah.
out. Yeah. And one thing I love about you is that you weren't afraid to pivot. Go from sometimes people think because their life starts out one way, then
Mm,
that's the way it always has to be. And you started off in the Marines, right?
mm,
And you realize, okay, music is my passion. Let me pivot over here. And that could be God's grace too, over your life. I really
mm.
believe in his favor over your life. And
So
sometimes he will move in your favor without you even realizing, and it just becomes a natural transition. Um, but to people watching, don't be afraid to move when those waves move, because that's
so
just the universe telling you you got to go with those waves.
exactly. And for that, for you to even see that, to catch that, because sometimes you just got to be in tune with yourself. You really got to know who you are and like know your gifts and stuff. Like, because once you get in tune with that, then you will be able to see that, okay, some people think like, okay, this is a sign that I don't need to, when sometimes it could be a sign that you need to. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like when I decided to go to Miami to pursue my career in music, everything from that day on, like the day I decided to do that, I got suspended from work. Um, I
Wow.
started having car troubles. Like my truck broke down, so I wasn't getting paid. My truck broke down on the way back from work that same day. That same day. The next day I went and bought a car. Or next 2 days I went and bought a car. I drove that for a couple weeks. That car broke
Wow.
down. Then I had to go get tested for coronavirus, so I missed another week of work.
Wow.
Um, like, and then I got all these bills piling up. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any income coming in now. I missed like 3 weeks total of work.
Wow.
And then now my second car broke down. I live an hour away from where I work at, so I can't even get to work. So I'm calling out of work. So that's more money I'm missing.
Mhm.
All my bills are due, overdue, really, past due. Um, so it's just like, man, like, why is all this happening? You know what I'm saying? And I just looked at it like, this happened on the day I said I was going to Miami, and I don't have any money in my pocket. I'm behind on my bills, and I got to catch a flight to Miami, and I don't have
Mm.
any money. That's not a
Right.
smart thing to do. But I told myself something's keeping me from going to Miami, so I gotta go, and I
Yeah.
went, and here I am.
Yeah. And the thing is, you got to just keep going,
For
you
sure.
know? You got to keep just growing and growing. And I think as an artist, sometimes we get frustrated because we compare our last results to our results now. But
Mm,
if you just keep going and keep creating music and still finding it to be fulfilling for you in that happy space, you're going to have longevity in this game, you know? Um it's interesting when you look at a new artist that has broken in COVID, because it's hard for you guys because you're not able to tour as much as, now things are opening up, but you aren't able to tour as big as you would if it wasn't COVID,
Right.
but all of those things are just little hurdles that are there. But if you just keep going and going and going, it's gonna get bigger.
Right. For
You
sure.
know?
I'm glad I learned that. I'm glad I learned that because
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here if I would have stayed. If I would have stayed, I would have had I would have had to do a lot of catching up on my bills, and we all know how that goes. Once you get in a hole, it's kind of like hard to get out of. You know what
It
I'm saying?
is.
But
It is. Yeah.
I stepped out on faith, and
Yeah.
even going to Miami behind on everything and everything going like it was. I still went like a whole month and a half, 2 months without even getting any income, without even getting paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just moving off of faith. And I just knew if I just keep going, then everything's gonna take care of itself. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I
Because
think
the universe paid you back.
exactly.
It paid you back tenfold. So let's talk about when the project is dropping. So we all know the story behind Trackstar, so I don't want to get into that. I think the world knows, the challenge everybody did, the cover from Erica Banks to Lil Mama to Trey Songz.
Right.
But now I want to know when's the project coming?
We put it together. I want to get it to people ASAP. You know what I'm saying? Just make
Yeah.
sure everything perfect, everything good. And we're gonna get it to them. A lot of theory for the broken on the way.
Yeah. I love your name, but I was curious, where did you get your name from?
Oh, Mooski.
Yeah.
So my nickname is Moo Moo.
Okay.
When I picked my artist name because I just wanted it to be me. I didn't want to have to, make up a name and
It's not
try to
organic to
grow
you.
into it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to be me.
Yeah. Well, listen, I really did enjoy this interview with you today.
Likewise.
I hope that you come back on the show when a project drops, and I'm so excited to hear the project because, like I said, your music is so vulnerable and your lyrics are so like it hits you. So I'm really excited to hear the project and to see what you have coming up.
I appreciate it. But yeah, we definitely have to make a stop back through after
Yeah.
the therapy session. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? After the project drop.
Exactly. I'll be a therapist for you. Niles, Capital Niles, y'all better do the right thing by him. Y'all better make sure y'all give him everything you got over there with that machine. So congratulations on all your success. Congratulations on the single, on your deal, and on your album that's coming out.
I appreciate it. Much love.
Thank you. Everybody, it's TT Torrez. It's my special guest, Mooski, and you have been watching another episode of Artist Quarantine. Thank you for tuning in.